Hi, Libra. This is Jeffrey. This is Ripecolor, and this is your reading for January 22nd through the 20th. Um, whenever I do Libra, I always think because I'm trying to get into the sign, into the energy, right? And Libra's all about balance, and I'm like, there's something lopsided. That's what I'm feeling, and then I'm like, is it love? And I'm like, I think it's love. Yeah, I think it's love. So, okay. This doesn't necessarily mean romantic love. It could be love, with friendship, with job, with things that you love. So I feel like, mm, excuse me, I talk a lot. I feel like there's this energy of you're giving so much of yourself and you're not receiving back. And something has to be rebalanced. And I feel like all this love, I'm getting a whole download. All this love that you've been uh, emanating or giving, I guess, needs to be uh, more needs to be given to you. It's more of this energy of self love that really needs to be recalibrated. That's what I'm really getting. Okay, I used to like stop myself from readings or stop myself from, and it's I don't do that anymore. I don't do that. It doesn't seem to work. So that's what I heard, and that's what I heard. And look, it's not like you're the only one. We're all deficient in that. We're all many of us are quite deficient in loving ourselves in first, first. Mm. Oh, oh. Okay. You think I can get paid for my growl? Yeah. Interesting. Wow. All right. So we start with the hangman. Hangman, fascinating card. Um, the hanged man, it's the only time that the Norse mythology shows up. I was going to say throws up, shows up in the deck. And this is Odin. Odin has the gift of prophecy. And all the gods, Odin is like the Zeus, basically. Um, like, oh, you're a male, you're not supposed to have that. It's a little odd, little. And so Odin, instead of like hiding away, saying, oh no, I was just kidding, or practicing in secret or something, um, gouges out his own eye and hangs himself on the tree of life upside down. He sacrifices himself to himself. Like, chew on that for a while. He sacrifices himself to himself. He sacrifices himself to his soul's light. He sacrifices himself to illumination. So what he does is he gouges out his own eye. And interestingly, right, if you have one eye, you have a different perspective, right? You don't have depth. Everything appears as closed, right? And and he sits and he waits. And through that energy, through that process, he receives and he receives illumination and he goes into all the worlds, all the energies, all the layers, right? Like the underworld, all the layers up and down. And he receives all this information and it's really powerful. And this is what happens when he sacrifices himself to himself. So he goes deeper into a sense of intuition, into a sense of meaning, into a sense of something bigger than himself, right? And then he receives the illumination. And once he does, he he goes into his heart and he radiates love to all the realms. It's really a beautiful story. It's so beautiful. I mean, it's very weird with the eye, but that's what it is. It's a willing self-sacrifice. So it's like maybe the sacrifice is giving up. Maybe the sacrifice is really understanding and loving oneself more instead of basing your sense of self on how much you give others. I've been there. So, like, that's why it's easy for me to talk about it because I've lived a lot of my life like that. Okay. I'm not sitting and, like, it ain't that at all, believe me. And then I get the 10 of Cups, and the 10 of Cups is kind of a fairy tale card. The wish come true, emotional fulfillment. But it's almost like maybe the fairy tale needs to be brought down to earth. It's like maybe, this ideal in your head is sort of, it's a little bit, something has to be given up. Like it's a little askew. It's a little bit, oh, I'm going to meet the love of my life and we're going to be together forever and ever. I'm going to have children. We live in a perfect house. And it's like maybe there's something other for you. And maybe that is what's going to fulfill you, not what everyone else thinks you should fulfill you, right? Because he went his own way, right? And then I get the Two of Swords. The Two of Swords, another interesting card. So the Two of Swords is this is really about relying on your intuition. At the end of the day, it's about relying on your intuition and almost blinding yourself. And he's even though he doesn't seem it, he's right. And then she has the blindfold on, so it's like, what am I feeling? It's like imagine yourself being blindfolded, and it's like, well, what am I hearing? How close is that? And what am I feeling? Because the antenna are up, right? So she's receiving messages. And what happens in this card, I don't remember the reader, but on occasion I watch like little pieces of other tarot readers, and sometimes people have the amazing, amazing interpretations. Sometimes they don't. But I was watching this one guy, and he was like, "There's there's a new land coming up in the background, right? It's almost like I'm imagining it or I'm feeling it. And it's this energy, it's almost like a volcano giving birth to new land, right? And it's like as I sit there and listen to my intuition in the back of my mind, there's this new land, there's this new opportunity, there's this new place to stake a claim or build a business or go off to. Really interesting. So, I feel like the thing about the hangman too is like there's a sense of pause. There's a sense of hanging oneself upside down. There's a sense of having a new perspective. Okay. And then I get you. Hello. I love when people show up in their own reading, right? So it's justice. This is about being fair and balanced, and it's about being illuminated, right? And it's a divine justice. I always understand this as a divine justice. This is like your higher self or the Godhead or your angels and guides and etc. coming and illuminating you. And the illumination, because this is the illumination. Here you go. Of if I give away all my material goods and I have nothing left, that's not really balanced. If I give away all my time and all my effort and all my love to others and I don't leave any for myself, that's not really fair and balanced. If I continually sacrifice myself for others' needs and don't sacrifice myself to myself, that's not fair and balanced either. And I really feel like that it needs to be a recalibration, a recalibration. You know, it's almost like a machine, right? Like a machine after a while gets worn out, and it's like it needs a little tune-up, maybe there's a screw loose, I'm not saying you're crazy, but that, maybe there's a little something that has to be worked in some way. And it's like, oh, now it's good. Like I bought a refrigerator here and it like the freezer was cold, but the refrigerator wasn't. So I had a refrigerator repair people come over and it took them a long time and they redid stuff and blah, blah, blah. And they cleaned the coils and they did this and they did that. And they cleaned every single inside part of the refrigerator. It was kind of wild. And, the refrigerator, I have to say, it's a little bit noisy, but it works. But it works. It's like it just needs to be recalibrated. And like I didn't have to go out and buy a new refrigerator. It was like, let me, have someone recalibrate this. Aha. Hmm. This is a great card. This is really about, this is a great card. This is evolution. This is like your soul's evolution. That's the way I always see this card. This is the evolution of the soul. This is like the next rung up. It's like, and I like to imagine it as like the interior of a clock, with all the gears, and you're on a certain gear. And now like a cycle has changed and it's like, it's no longer 2 o'clock, it's 3 o'clock, right? And then it goes, I love my sound effects. And now you're higher up and you have a different vista and you're getting closer to your goal. Oh, oh, that's the way I understand that card. Okay. It's also a 10, so it's completion. Hmm. I really like this one. I mean, I don't know if I like him, but I really, for me, the energy of the King of Swords, he's not my favorite king, but he's very powerful. The King of Swords is like Libra putting on their thinking cap and saying, I'm eliminating, he's a surgeon. He's a surgeon, he's a butcher. I mean, traditionally, he's a lawyer, he's a judge, he's a surgeon, he's a butcher. He eliminates what's not necessary, and like there's no emotional attachment. There's no emotional attachment. Like people who are really good at business. Sometimes I sometimes I watch these. Is the antique guy that I watch in England, and he'll go to see collectors, and they have so much stuff. It's like insane. And they always want to buy more stuff, which is great. And like, oh well, that one has sentimental value to me, and I'm not going to sell it. It's like you have a store. It says open. And somebody wants to buy something. Oh, there's no sentimentality to this one, and it's good for him, and it's good for you. It's sort of like this doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. It's got to be eliminated in order to make room for something else. And that's what the evolution is about. That's what the balance is about. That's what the intuitive messages are about. That's what the another 10, two tens completion is about. And that's what, willing self-sacrifice is about. Okay. For the extended reading, please join me, become a member, $4.99 a month. You can watch all the extended readings for all the signs. Anyway, please join me. Blessings. See you soon.